Hey superstars, it's Danny with a planetary service announcement for the black sheep adjacent, and the black sheep curious. So this has come up so many times this week that I can't not speak to it. And it's this sort of internal neuroses mindfuckery about the black sheep status. So it's come up a few times. One is very consistently with all of my clients. And it's it's all versions of, I don't fit in, I feel like an alien here, I don't belong. And then at the same time, juggling the, well, I want to do XYZ, but I'm afraid what people think. I'm afraid that people will think I'm weird, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, pick a side. Either be a black sheep and own it, which is what I fully recommend, or let it go and live a life of consensus reality abiding. I was talking to a woman before dance who has a larger than life personality, and I know her in sort of an ancillary manner. And we were chatting before dance, and she said something about, kind of having an emotional freak out, but doing her best to hold it in, lest people think she was weird. And I said, we already know you're weird. Once you know that we know you're weird, then you're free. Then you can stop worrying about it. And I could see that it clicked, like she got a piece from that. We spend so much time, we waste so much time worrying about what other people think. And when you're a black sheep, you gotta let that shit go and let it fall. Who cares what people think? They're learning the lessons they're meant to learn. Maybe we're modeling a piece for them. Maybe we're freaking them out. Maybe we're scaring the shit out of them. Who cares? It's not really on us. I had a conversation with a very close friend of mine who's like super art weirdo extraordinaire. And this was years ago. And to this day, I remember it so clearly. I was talking to him in my kitchen and I said, do people think I'm crazy? And he said, oh yeah, everyone thinks you're crazy. And I swear it was like 1,000 pounds of metal shackles were instantly released from my body. And it was just this flood of relief of, oh, thank God, then I don't have to waste so much time trying to make people think that I'm not, or pretending that I'm not. It was like this full permission to be my fully expressed, authentic self. And it was, a very liberating, wonderful experience for me. So what I've been advising my clients this week and my friends this week, because as I said, this has come up so consistently, is own your black sheepness. And the beauty of not fitting into consensus reality is that you don't have to try to fit into consensus reality. Then we're not bound by the constraints of consensus reality rules or manners. And I'm not advocating for being a total asshole. Of course, we want to respect and honor people. And that matrix construct that is holding up Babylon is dying and collapsing at warp speed. So at this stage of the game, for us to kind of distort ourselves to attempt to fit in makes no sense. Your liberation is in saying, fuck it. If consensus reality doesn't accept me the way I am, then I'm going to pivot, carve my own path, and play a different game according to my own rules. And I promise you, it's way more fun, it's way more expansive, it's way more empowering, it's way more fulfilling. So the frame shift here is, instead of looking at being a black sheep as a bummer and something to victimize ourselves to and feel constrained by, look at it as your liberation, because it's exactly what it is. Once we come to the conclusion, and again, I'm not attempting, to shove someone who's doing great in consensus reality into the black sheep box. If that's not you, then, go watch another video. This isn't for you. I'm speaking to the people who feel like they don't fit in, and I'm encouraging you and me and all of us to see that as a superpower, to see that as something that allows us to navigate reality differently without the same pressures and constraints that those who feel like they fit in or do fit in are abiding by. There is so much more freedom in realizing, yeah, this construct doesn't work for me, which means I am not limited by or relegated to the rules of that construct. I get to create my own. And I promise you, there's just so much more space for expansion, for creativity, for authenticity, for magic, for synchronicity, for all the things that consensus reality tries to tell us are not achievable unless we play their games through their very narrow pathways. Once we realize that none of those pathways actually work for us, then we're free to get out of the idea of pathways altogether and decide, well, I want to do it upside down, zigzag, backwards, multidimensionally, in a nonlinear way. And then we get to see that that works for us because we are walking our path and more authentically, with more curiosity and more willingness to co-create with the multiverse, instead of surrendering our power, surrendering our creative agency to do what the Matrix would love to think they have the authority to tell us to do. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for remembering that every word matters, that you are omniscopic amazingness. Have a rockin' day. Mwah.